Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Boxiest, and today we are going to continue the What If series. What if events had gone differently? And in this What If, we're going to change the history of Cobra Kai. What if LaRusso-Auto was sold during the events of Cobra Kai Season 3? So in this timeline, the events of Cobra Kai Season 2 would still happen, the school fight would still happen, Miguel would still be paralyzed, and Robbie would still go to juvie. Johnny would still be kicked out of Cobra Kai, LaRusso-Auto would get a lot of bad press because of the school fight, and Daniel would start to lose business. Much like in the original timeline, Tom Cole would still make the exclusive deal with Diona, Tom Cole would still offer to buy LaRusso-Auto, and in this timeline, Daniel would have no other choice, and he would have to accept Tom Cole's offer, so LaRusso-Auto would be sold to Tom Cole, and since Daniel sold LaRusso-Auto, he would never go to Okinawa, and he would never re-meet Chozen in this timeline, and the events of Cobra Kai would carry on. Johnny would still help Miguel recover the ability to use his legs, and Kreese would try to manipulate Robbie in juvie, and everyone in Daniel's family would be upset, and since LaRusso-Auto was sold, Daniel and Amanda could no longer afford their house, so Daniel and Amanda would decide to sell their house and move to a smaller place. Daniel would also sell Mr. Miyagi's old house, so Miyagi-Do would shut down. Daniel would look around, and he would find a job outside the valley, so Daniel and Amanda would have to make the tough decision to move their family outside the valley, but Daniel would say that this was the perfect chance to start over, and to get away from Cobra Kai and all the drama, but Daniel would feel bad for leaving Robbie in juvie, so before he leaves, he would visit Robbie in juvie, and Robbie would still be upset with Daniel. This is when Daniel would reveal that he had to leave. Robbie would be upset, so Robbie and the LaRussos would say their goodbyes, and Daniel and his family would move outside the valley, and the events of Cobra Kai would carry on. Johnny would still open up Eagle Fang, and Eagle Fang and Cobra Kai would have a rivalry, and by the time Robbie gets out of juvie, Johnny would be outside waiting for him, and at first, Robbie wouldn't want anything to do with Johnny, but since he had nowhere else to go, he would eventually go with Johnny. Johnny would be happy to have Robbie back in his life, and Robbie would feel guilty over the fact that LaRusso-Auto had to shut down. He would feel that it was his fault that Daniel had to move, but Johnny would try to convince him that it wasn't his fault. Robbie and Miguel would still have their rivalry, but Johnny would try to get them to talk, and eventually Robbie would apologize to Miguel for kicking him off the balcony. Miguel would accept his apology, and he would also apologize to Robbie for everything else. So the rivalry between Robbie and Miguel would end. Johnny would continue training his students, and eventually Robbie would join Eagle Fang. The rivalry between Eagle Fang and Cobra Kai would grow, and Robbie would decide to teach Eagle Fang some Miyagi-Do, and the relationship between Robbie and Johnny would improve. Miguel and Robbie would convince some of the former Miyagi-Do students to join Eagle Fang, so Dimitri and a couple former Miyagi-Do students would join, and since Johnny and Daniel didn't team up in this timeline, Kreese wouldn't get Terry Silver. Overall, things would be pretty uneventful and a lot more peaceful in this timeline, and that is where I'm going to end this What If. Thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think would have happened if LaRusso-Auto was sold during the events of Cobra Kai Season 3? Let me know in the comments below. All members have access to emojis that can be used in comments and live streams. This isn't mandatory. This is only something extra. If you want to support the channel even more, YouTube lets me know that the majority of you are not subscribed, so if you guys could subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications, and I'll see you guys next time.